children, and some of them came forward to stroke her arm and hold her hand as she walked through the village. To the side of the path, just ahead, a small girl sat by herself under the shade of a coconut tree. The little one caught Audrey's attention, and she asked, "Why doesn't she join the others?" Walking over, Audrey knelt down and spoke with her. Then, picking her up, she hugged her close. The child's legs, crippled by polio, dangled uselessly. Carrying the little one, Audrey walked towards us, her eyes filled with tears. None of the rest of us had taken notice of that child. For this speech, I used the following sources. I used a press release from unicef.org. Also, I used the website ahepburn.com. Another website for her, audreyhepburn.com. unicef.org again for a video and a speech. And then YouTube for an interview of Audrey and a quote from ahepburn.com. So I'm here to pay tribute to Audrey Hepburn for UNICEF because they have spent endless hours helping people around the world, which is something I greatly admire. And no matter where they go, people know who they are and what they are capable of doing. They also spread the word, recruiting more people to volunteer and join in on the amazing things that they are trying to accomplish. So for my focus today, it's going to be Audrey Hepburn's work for UNICEF, because she has started a revolution of other celebrities becoming ambassadors. One of the main things I want to talk about is how she set aside her sickness and tended to the needs of others that were in more desperate situations than she was. In fall 1987, UNICEF appointed Audrey Hepburn to be a Goodwill ambassador. Although she had a brilliant film career, she embarked on her second career as a humanitarian. And she said the decision to get involved was really easy because when she was in hard times after World War II, she had the aid of UNICEF to help her get back on her feet. In the years following her appointment, she made numerous field trips. She also testified before U.S. Congress, took part in the World Summit for Children, launched UNICEF's State of the World's Children reports, hosted Danny Kaye International Children's Award ceremonies, designed fundraising cards, participated in benefit concert tours, and gave many speeches and interviews promoting UNICEF's work. On December 1992, she received the United States highest civilian award, which is the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That same year, even though she was sick with cancer at this time, she continued work for UNICEF, traveling to Somalia, Kenya, the United Kingdom, Switzerland, France, and the United States. And in January 1993, she passed away. Another thing I would like to point out is that no matter where she was, a lot of people recognized who she was because they had heard of Miss Hepburn doing all these amazing things. She had a great career as an actress, but I think she will be remembered just as much as a humanitarian. And that's the beauty of her years with UNICEF. She was an inspiration. She brought enormous world attention to children. She raised the profile of the challenges they face. That's a legacy that lives on in the wonderful ambassadors that UNICEF now has the honor of working with. And that was said by the UNICEF Executive Director, Carol Bellamy. Audrey Hepburn brought joy to hundreds of thousands of children, and she is now celebrated with a major sculpture that is located in a plaza adjacent to the UNICEF headquarters. It is a 7-foot-tall bronze sculpture entitled The Spirit of Audrey, and it conveys the unique bond between an adult and a child. The sculpture is the creation of the artist and sculptor John Kennedy, and he was specifically chosen by her longtime companion Robert Wolders, who donated the work to UNICEF. All of us who loved Audrey are thrilled that this beautiful piece of art will be on permanent display in New York City, a place she cherished, and particularly that its home will be outside UNICEF, the organization to which she devoted so much of her energy and compassion. Audrey personified the spirit of UNICEF, and we hope those who see this statue will be inspired by her efforts on behalf of children. And this was said by Robert Wolders. So now that after she had passed, and because of all the great things that she did, UNICEF gives out the Audrey Hepburn Humanitarian Award to those individuals and organizations that have made extraordinary contributions on behalf of children, through advocacy, volunteer work, philanthropic efforts, and educational and innovative community-based programs. And the little award is actually a replication of the Spirit of Audrey. One thing Audrey said was, if people are not giving, it's because they don't know, not because they don't want to. So I hope to just help create a global awareness wherever it's necessary. This whole tragedy is because there's no water. We can't make it rain, but when it does, when the good Lord will let it rain, at least we can provide help in the country with ways of containing it. My last point about her is that she helps spread the word of UNICEF to a lot of people, which is a great task accomplished by a single person. For 5 years, she traveled to over 20 countries witnessing thousands of children struggling for survival. She reported these conditions to governments, world leaders, and international media, detailing gruesome details about the millions of children and their families stuck in a state of disaster. She worked on behalf of UNICEF and has inspired others to reach out and commit their time to improving the lives of other children. In 1994, Audrey's two sons created the National Children's Fund to continue humanitarian work once she had already passed. And it's called the Audrey Hepburn Children's Fund, which brings help and hope to the children of the world. Its central mission is to raise funds and support organizations that hold the health, well-being, and education of children around the world as their top priority. And here's a video clip of an interview that she did for UNICEF.
If I may sum it up in a very short phrase, and if I would say, as long as I have breath, all the people in Ethiopia, all they need is an assistance to help themselves, which they are yearning to do. And UNICEF is giving them a spade and a spade to dig their water well. Let it not be a great possession.
So even though she has been gone for many years now, she is still greatly remembered by those of UNICEF and the children around the world and whoever else she has touched. She's a remarkable person, even with her film career and her UNICEF work. It just makes her all the more grounded and a more down-to-earth person. Because even when she was horribly sick, she did make tons of trips and try to help as many people before she knew she was going to leave the earth. People knew who she was, even when they were isolated in the middle of a crisis. And she helped spread the word more than anyone else could have ever imagined. One thing that she said was, "It is clear from your achievement up to this day that you will succeed. Please know you will continue to have the full support of UNICEF in any way we can help. Nurture, love, and protect your children. Thank you."